Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of CelebWorx live series of Yo Joe RAPS. It's an inside look into the iconic series of G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. My name is Chris Arsaga.
I'm Nery Lemus. Thanks for joining us on our newer inside look, where knowing will no longer be half the battle.
Before we bring on our special guest who's laughing in the background, we want to remind you that you can be automatically entered to win an autograph 8x10 from today's special guest. All you have to do is share the live stream, and this is what it will look like right here. Very nice. Share the live stream, and we will contact the winner after the show ends. And we want to apologize very quickly for our technical difficulties today. We're a little bit late, but we promise you a full show. We'll be here. Nery?
I'm excited to bring on this voiceover legend. Morgan Lofting is best known for giving voice to Cobra's chief intelligence officer, the beautiful and deadly Baroness. Using a European accent, Morgan voiced the character through both G.I. Joe miniseries, the 2 seasons of the Marvel Sunbow cartoon, plus the full-length feature film. She was also one of the few voice actors to continue her role when production of the series moved to Canada for the DIC Studios series in 1989. Though second in command of Cobra, the Baroness is more devoted to arms dealer Destro than to Cobran Commander herself. Also, like Zartan, Baroness is a master of disguise, an expert in weapons, and hand-to-hand combat. Her tough and self-assured personality, which I'm not sure whether that's Morgan or the Baroness, but her tough and self-assured personality combined with her long dark hair, glasses, and sexy demeanor have made the character a fan favorite. Other cartoons you may have heard Morgan's voice are the G1 Transformers, where she played Moonracer and Firestar, and she recently returned to voice acting too, and is currently, or was currently, the recurring character Festina on Ben 10 Omniverse. Please welcome our friend, the illuminous Morgan Lofting, to today's program.
Yay, there she is.
Yay! Okay, and I'm wearing a disguise, darling. So
I love it.
Morgan, thank you for joining us.
Oh, it's a thrill. I love you guys. So
we love you.
Hello.
Thank you. Love you too. So,
don't let me look down at my picture at the bottom of the screen, or all you're going to see is the top of my head.
You can duck your head down.
Well, if you want to move your camera just a little bit lower, I know you won't see us, but I mean, it'll.
No. I want to see you. I need somebody to talk to.
It's perfect. Okay.
So thank you for coming on to answer some of our questions. Also to the general public, if you have any G.I. Joe questions, and really any questions in general for Morgan or us, for Nery and I, please post them in the official stream, and we will answer them if we feel like it.
Okay, I'm gonna start it off. How the hell are you? How are you handling the quarantine? We miss you terribly. Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. Now, I was talking with a friend of mine who's a writer and a lawyer, and I said, how much of your day is different from regularly? Because I mean, she's home, she's writing, she's reading, and I thought, I'm reading, I'm going to yoga. How much of my day is actually different from once in a while you have an audition or you have a gig? But I thought, wait, no, it's just when I go out, I'm masked,
It's a little bit of a weird thing going out now. I mean, I unfortunately can't say that Chris and I have the same day that we usually would have had, because we would have been in another state somewhere. But we digress. We get through.
Well, yes. I was thinking 3 months ago, where am I going to go on my trip? And I thought, oh God, maybe London, maybe go back and see the theater, because Neil Ross and I were there in 2016 for a G.I. Joe hoo-ah. And I thought, yeah. I go, well, doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter now. Exactly.
That actually leads me to my first question that I was going to ask you, and you kind of already set it up for me, which is great. I mean, other than traveling to conventions, which, we travel around the world for conventions, but you actually on your own time are a world traveler. Like, you just love going to different places.
Europe and Turkey. That's about as far as I've been.
But I mean, you really do. I mean, you tell us the truth, and we trip out about it because it's amazing. We love it. But can you share like your last trip with everybody?
Well, a year ago. Okay, a year ago, I was in Amsterdam, and it was absolutely incredible. I generally am very good about getting myself fixed spatially. I was all fixed spatially, and then the goddamn canals would show up. And Google didn't know what to do about the canals either. They pretty much bailed because they had the roads down, but then there's one. I mean, I passed a couple of points like 3 times, and I thought, at one point, I had gone totally in the wrong direction. Never accept information from people who go, oh, I know. Because twice I went in completely the wrong direction. I finally walked into a deli-like restaurant and said, help. Taxi. We went over, you made the phone call, and I got back to my hotel. But I got to say, it was an incredible place to be. They have a Jewish museum, which knocks your socks off, because I'd never heard the Shoah tapes before. The tapes of people who came back from the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And I'd also never been to knew that much about what the Dutch were doing during the occupation. And when the occupation was over, when they were starving because the Allies weren't there yet. I mean, there's some really fascinating stuff and some interesting audio of people who came back from the camps and found people in their apartments, and the people in their apartments said, go away, this is ours.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was a fabulous.
For people that don't know, you're a very big history buff. And
I'm a historian.
Well, a historian, that's a great way to say it. And then, I mean, you've recently returned to acting, but after G.I. Joe, you went back to school, right? And then later became a librarian in Southern California. What was that experience like?
Well, the librarian was just kind of a job. The school was amazing. I went back to finish my bachelor's. I had an AA at that point, but I went back. Then I stayed and I finished my master's in history. At that point, I'm doing women's history. I'm doing early modern Europe, which is like the same period as the Renaissance, but looking at it from the point of view of the peasantry, the people. And then I did 3 years towards my doctorate. I don't have the temperament, and I didn't want to teach. I loved the research. The research was incredible. But, I mean, practically any place you drop me down, I will scrabble around to find information. And you guys know, when you talk to me, you will say, I was in Burkina Faso. And I will say, wait, where is that? Because I have to have a map. And then I unfurl my timeline. And people have heard me say that before, and they're like, what? I'm locating myself in space and time. And I forget when I talk to people that they don't have a map and they don't have a timeline.
Wait, what is a map? I don't know what that is. We're in 2020. I have a phone with an app that tells me where I'm at any given point.
Oh my God. The map.
Google for that.
Okay, a globe from 1490, 2 years before Columbus.
I'm sure that would do us tremendous wonders out on the street. A globe.
Oh my God. No.
Absolutely.
Okay, it's a globe. It's from 1490, 2 years before Columbus took off. And you've got Asia and Africa and Europe. And then you sail across the Atlantic and you get to Japan. And then, right?
Yeah, no, it's...
Yes. It wasn't a lot of call for duplicates of this, however.
Right.
You know, but there it is, and it's still there. You can still go see it.
I think you're a Renaissance woman, a woman of many talents.
Oh,
so we're gonna get back to what everybody here loves you for.
I
And
have
of
I have a
course,
history story about Wally. If you want to hear the history story, about
we'll get to that a little bit.
Okay.
But let's
Yeah,
get
later.
we're gonna
notice, audience, when you talk too much early modern Europe, how people's eyes tend to glaze
start to
over.
glaze over. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, I noticed
They
that.
want to hear about real Americana moments. So we're going to go back to the inspiration, of course, your character, the Baroness. It's very iconic.
Goody.
So
Yeah.
what was your inspiration for that character?
Oh my God, I've said it so many times. It was a little blurb that came with the script, short script, 1 page, 2 page, maybe. Picture, black and white picture. So you kind of had an idea of the shape and the whatnot and the face and the hair. And I cannot honestly remember where the accent came from. There must have been something in the breakdown that said she's from Europe, maybe she's from Eastern Europe, Middle Europe. Nothing from Russia, because she does not have a Russian. This is a Russian accent. She does not have a Russian accent. No. Okay. You got that straight. Yes.
Yes, got it straight.
Yeah.
I said European on the intro. I knew that if I said Russian, that would be incorrect.
Didn't they have you change it to Russian for the second one? Right?
No. It was a series that was done, I think, in the Audis, where the Baroness had a Russian accent.
Ah,
And that wasn't me. So
no, not you. Well, I think that covers Nery probably asking for you to do the voice, right?
I think
I didn't sound like the Baroness. Not but I covered my face so everybody is not like appalled. Okay.
they would never be appalled.
I know, it's so funny when people say, "Can you still do the voice?" Wait a minute, I have it here in a bag. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always ask on here. I always ask, I kind of know the answer to this, but I'm sure everybody else, I ask questions that I think other people want to hear.
Okay.
So everybody that's watching is G.I. Joe fans. They collect, they have tons of stuff at their house. Can you share if you have anything that you keep?
Oh yeah. Oh God. Do you want me to show it?
Sure, if you have it.
Okay.
We'll excuse you for a moment.
Okay. This is from Rosemary Ward. Wait, where's the camera? There she is. No, I'm sitting down. And then
put it right. There it is. Oh, yeah.
Rosemary Ward gave me this. Okay.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got all sorts of, but some of it won't really.
I love it.
Robbie Musso.
Oh, that's very cool.
Wow, I haven't seen that. Right? Is that one new?
No.
How have I never seen it?
No. This is, he didn't date it. This is, that's one of the first shows that I ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, not new.
Cool.
That's pre-CelebWorx. So we don't care, but it's okay.
Oh, what?
I'm kidding. I was joking. I said that's before us.
I know. I heard what you said.
So, Morgan, how were you cast for the series? Because Greg Berger told us a little bit about how basically there was a table set up and there was a stack of basically scripts and characters, and people picked what they wanted. Now, was that the same for you?
Well, considering there were only 2 women in the first couple shows, it would have been a very small table.
Yeah,
we don't want to go there, do we? No.
Okay.
No. Okay. I suppose I might have read for Scarlet. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Remember, I mean, how you just iron filings. You just kind of go towards, what you think's going to work. Don may have called me in to read the Baroness. Remember? I don't remember.
Okay. It's okay.
Well, no, it's okay. That was a long time ago, baby.
Absolutely.
So one of the things in the beginning was that they put off the production, or actually the cartoon coming out and the figures coming out, because of the toys were ready, and then Star Wars came along and they had to put it off. So it gave Larry Hama a chance to write the backs for the cards.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what I was gonna, but I didn't see it right away. Larry, when we were in Knoxville, Larry was there, and he just made a pencil sketch of the Baroness for me.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, what I was going to ask is, I know that you and Larry are actually pretty close.
Text once in a while.
Do you have any cool Larry Hama stories for us?
Oh, I asked him because I said I want to see fresh things. Not that kind. Okay.
You notice how I listen to your stories, right? I'm setting you up for this.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's the idea. You're supposed to be listening. What did he say? Oh, he sent me the text. Oh, okay. Wow, this is something totally different that has to do with holding aid to the Ukraine that I wrote about something. Okay, that is not from Larry Hama. That is some okay, this thing. Never mind. Okay. I thought, no, guy.
We love you, Morgan. We love you so much.
I know. Well, it's all right here. Okay. No, what he said was that he realized that all the Cobra people had no faces. And you think about it, they don't. Cobra Commander, Destro, you can't see their faces.
Zartan, you're right. Yeah.
It was a mask.
Well, Zartan was much later, but at the beginning, he said,
all the troopers have their little COVID masks on. Right?
Not a problem. Yeah, okay, I'll do the part. Yeah. So anyway, he said, and then he thought, not only did you need to see somebody, but it might be nice to have someone hot. There you go. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, how much of this, because that was a long time ago in a country far, far away, how much of this is revisionist? I don't know.
It's fine.
Somebody probably said, you don't have any women. Don't you think maybe somebody could have a mother or something? I don't know.
All I know is they wanted to sell toys, and that's why the Baroness happened.
Yeah, but my toy didn't show up. And hey, I'm an actor. I was checking Toys R Us. There was no toy.
We can credit Ron Rudat with Baroness, because as far as I know, Ron was the one that created the Baroness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the creator, and he's the one that designed the Cobra logo too. He's I think he's actually watching right now, believe it or not.
I think he is too.
Okay.
Morgan, can you walk us through one of these, famous sessions with an all-star cast? I mean, essentially, you had the who's who of voiceover at the time in one of these cast sessions.
Yes, and it was long, and anyway, we would all sit down at a big table, a rectangular table, like you would have a Thanksgiving meal at, and we had the whole script, and we'd all sit there and we'd read. And Wally had a very definite idea what he wanted, because actually Wally wanted to play all the parts. Anyway, okay, my favorite Wally Bird direction is I went, and he went, no. What I want is, and that sums it up as far as I'm concerned.
Got it.
Okay.
No, yeah, I think you covered it really well. But what was it like being in a room with, people talk about it all the time. Chris Latta, Arthur Burkhart.
Oh my God, honey, everybody was checking their equipment all the time. It's a room full of guys.
Right.
So all the guy stuff. And at one point I said, you know what? I'm going to put a list up on the wall. And if anybody's missing anything, I'll put a checkpoint. Okay. Oh my God.
That's really funny. I wonder who had the most check marks.
Well, no, all the guys looked at me. It was like I was in third grade when I started to make noises on the desk, like everybody was doing. And all the little boys looked at me like, what? And that's exactly what happened. All the boys looked at me and went, "What?"
Wow.
So there was no checklist. I'm so sorry. I would have run
It's
out
okay.
of paper.
You probably would have ran out of paper. I agree. Just with one person
it
alone.
was fun and it was energizing, but after a while it was like,
I get it. We understand.
okay. Oh, did you ever hear that story before?
No, we hadn't heard that story. That was great.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Mm-hmm.
See? That's what we want. We want some new stuff.
And then finally we got Mary Mac and we got, oh God, and I know there were other people there. The gal who ended up playing Jem, who's so delightful.
Samantha Newark.
Oh yeah, she's wonderful.
Well, she was Transformers, wasn't she?
She was Transformers, Morgan.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Well, no, it's okay. I know they all mesh together. Yeah.
It was Jem. That was it. She was big and Jem. She's lovely.
Yeah, she's amazing. We love her too.
Marlene Aragon was in Transformers a bit.
Yeah, she was, but she was also in Jem too. Yeah.
That big show that my God, did we only do that a year ago?
Oh,
we did that. It was only a year ago in March. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, we're at the.
So we did. So what Morgan's talking about, everyone, is we did TFCon, which was the largest Generation 1 cast reunion in Burbank in March last year.
Yeah.
And it was a stellar thing. I mean, you had the who's who of anyone from Transformers be there.
Oh my God.
Because of Morgan, we got Marlene Aragon there, which was her first appearance in like 20 years.
Probably her last,
yeah.
And stop with the last. We're going to all do it again eventually.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember the Saturday. Oh my God. The doors open at 9:00. Whoosh. We didn't stop.
I remember. It was good.
And that way we just went into the room and went fall down on the floor. And then it was 5:30 and everybody's like, yeah, din. Okay. I have no more energy. And all these bouncy little 20-year-olds come by and go, okay, we're going to do a table read.
Yeah, I remember. I got to commend Colin Douglas, though. He's the owner of TFCon, one of the best events we've ever participated in. And it was because we had so many people that hadn't seen each other in 10, 20 years.
Oh, I know. Hey, I did Toronto with him. And I had people from Toronto that I made buddies with that I still keep in touch with.
And then you got to see him. It's amazing, isn't it?
But I don't know how we got through the... See, I did 2 characters on Transformers.
Moonracer and Firestar.
I have no idea what the difference was in their voices. No idea. Because
we're going to figure that one out for you, I think.
Fine, because I did each one of them like once. It's like... But Wally, no, just do your own voice. What? Never mind. Okay. So I thought, I've got them both here. Okay. Like Michelle Obama says, one goes low and the other one goes high. That's just how I did it.
Do you have any like convention experience? I mean, other than, the Burbank one, do you have any convention experiences that kind of stand out that you really, really had a good time with?
Oh, I've had a good time every time.
Or like any specific, moments that you want to discuss?
Oh my. Well, okay, the very first one that I did in Orlando, and we had one sort of group thing with a bunch of people in the audience, and then there was 1:00. I show up. I'm on the stage. I'm all by myself, and no, not Sarge. I can't remember his name.
Sergeant Slaughter? Robert Remus?
No, the weightlifter. Guys, the weightlifter.
I think the weightlifter is Sergeant Slaughter, isn't that Chris?
No, the wrestler.
Oh, yes. He's the wrestler. So Sergeant Slaughter.
Never mind. I can't remember. Forgive me. Anyway.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Is it Roddy Piper?
No.
Not Roddy Piper, because I know that.
No. Anyway, I'm there by myself, facing a large group of people, and I just took the microphone and, and away you go. And finally, my mate showed up, and oh, I don't know, fabulous things. The time I had in Springfield.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, ego wise, you're just floating when you walk out of a show because everybody has been like, Morgan, you're here, Morgan. Yes, it's
Right. You're on a high. I get it.
So I take the plane from Springfield, Illinois, to O'Hare. Nobody knows who I am.
Aww.
I know, it's sad. It's an adjustment. I'm in the middle of this huge going from this to that, and somebody says, Morgan! Yes!
Was that Diana Davis?
No. That was going to Springfield.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Oh, yes.
Got it.
No.
So somebody bugged you at the Chicago airport. So do you remember who it was? Or was it anybody we know? No. Okay.
No, I don't remember. It was like, yes, thank you.
Are there any other recording booth stories that you're familiar with that you remember that you want to share with the audience? Because a lot of people always ask, was there any stories?
I know. And the sad thing is that you go in and you do the gig and you have a good time while you're doing it and you're giving it your all. And then you just, who knew that anybody was going to remember?
Absolutely. Right.
Well, I've told you the story of when I discovered it was something special, haven't I?
No, tell us. I mean,
okay.
And even if you have, we're not going to say you did. We want to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know that some people are listening are like, oh God, could she say something new? Anyhow, it's early 90s. I'm doing some kind of an industrial, and this guy was the second AD or something. I don't even remember. And we were just blah, 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 blah. And I said, and I did the voice of the Baroness and G.I. Joe. And all of a sudden there was just this space, pause, and I went, what? And he's like, you are the voice. And I'm like, oh, come on. It took me going to the shows, going to the cons to get it. That it was a big deal for kids that were going home maybe on their own and just hanging out and just but it took a while because your first reaction is
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. People travel hundreds of miles to see you at shows across the country.
Yeah.
And of course most of them being G.I. Joe fans. Why do you think this series was such a prevalent and long-lasting success? Because I know many of you guys didn't know how big it was going to be during the recording of the show.
Right.
It was a cartoon show. Well, I think part of it is if anybody ever wants to, and it's a shame you can't. The dialogue and the music are married. The dialogue and the sound effects and the music. So there's no way. And the music is important, and so are the sound effects. I'm not knocking that. But there's no way you can lose the dialogue track. And I think what Wally did do is he drove that track. Whenever we had a fight scene, it was, it was really, you were right there. You were right on mic. You were giving them every possible sound they could use. And also, if somebody just wants to go back and listen, you'll hear even in a sentence that there is a tremendous amount of energy and elevation to words, and there's action in the voice. It's almost like putting not volume, but a power. A mime. Any actor who's ever done mime knows that there's an energy that comes from the solar plexus, and that's kind of where the voices came from. There's a tremendous amount of energy in voice tracks. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure, I think that's what people loved about it. As a kid when I watched it, everybody had like their own distinct voice. And it really didn't come off like hokey like other cartoons did. You know, they had silly voices and stuff. Everybody actually had real, legitimate voices that made sense. Like,
right.
you know,
It was made for an older market.
right, for sure. But it still appealed to. I mean, when I was in like, I think it was like 4th grade or 3rd grade when it came out, I loved it. It was like by far my favorite thing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It would be interesting to take a script and just read it, you know, just in a rather pedestrian fashion, and you would see how it, like, oh, we did the greatest. Oh, okay. We were at, no, I think you guys were still on the floor at Raleigh. We did a table read upstairs.
Yeah, we were still on the floor.
We were on
Yes,
the floor.
right. I don't mean they were lying down, people. I mean they were taking care of their clients. That's what I mean.
We were laying down.
You were laying down. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, it was fabulous because they had people that they had picked by, I guess, by some sort of lottery from the audience, and they had local talent, and then they had some of us, and they just had scenes, and I got to read an ingenue.
Oh, I remember some of your panelists for that. I'm so sorry, knowing who some of the panelists were. So I bet you had a hell of a time.
I had a hell of a time. I never get to play an ingenue, everybody. It's not happening. Okay. I don't know why not. I mean, anyway.
When you're at cons, I know. I mean, obviously Nery and I know because we're there with you all the time. But how do you feel about like all the Baroness cosplays? Because we see them.
Oh, they're wonderful. Oh, okay. Shout out Joe Colton. Shout out Shara Dietrich. These two incredibly tall, and then they, in their Baroness outfits, and then they put on the boots with the 4, 5-inch, and then they had me, and we all take a picture, and they had me, you know, the little gun, and there's this little person in the middle of all these giants. Anyway, it's fabulous. It's wonderful. When I was at Dayton, you guys weren't in Dayton.
We weren't there with you.
I took a picture with 6 Baroness. And at one show, oh, you were there. It was Knoxville. There was the gal who was like 9 years old.
Yes.
Oh, just amazing.
I love Knoxville. That was such a great show.
Wasn't that fun?
We had like 7 of us there, so it was a really big, nice, fun reunion.
That dinner afterwards, it was just
And it doesn't feel like that long ago, you know. It's something that it's there, and I feel like I can touch it, but not reach it, you know.
I know.
That was the one where Larry was there too, right? Larry.
Yeah.
Was there.
Yeah, but he didn't
Michael and Arthur.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and Margaret.
Oh, and Margaret.
That's so funny. We were just talking about this a couple weeks ago. For people that don't know, Margaret Carey, who is the live action model for Tinkerbell and the original Peter Pan, Disney's Peter Pan, the Baroness is friends with Tinkerbell. They hit it off after a convention, and there was, I think, one day where I went to go meet Margaret, and she didn't tell me you were coming, and we show up at Patty's in Burbank, and you were there.
Right, at Patty's. Do you know I called Margaret just to say, how in the hell are you? I haven't seen you at
She moved to Florida. Did you know that?
Know why she moved to Florida?
She got married at 90.
No, she married a guy from
her high school sweetheart, basically.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that means there's love out there for all of us. Then, if she can get married, she gives us all hope. Yeah, I knew what you were gonna say. I'm gonna take the hope, Morgan. If whatever hope you want or don't have, I'll take for you. So, Chris, hit me.
Hit you? I can't hit you.
Not actually hit me, but hit another question.
World War II story?
I asked the last question. It's your turn.
Oh, did you really? How much of the
cosplay?
Cosplay. Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, right. Yeah.
How much of your personality, Morgan, is ingrained in the character and vice versa? Has the character ever indicated or dictated the way you act after you took on the character?
You know, I have become, as I've gotten older, who I wanted to be. So I would say when I did the Baroness, it was a voice.
Okay.
And now, don't give me no shit.
Okay, I get it.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was just a character, you know, kind of like doing Aunt May. It was just a character, you know.
How did you get the role for Aunt May for Spider-Man?
I knew Wally, I knew Don, so I knew some people at the studio, and I was called in to audition, and I know I auditioned for Aunt May. I don't recall ever auditioning for the Black Cat. So
did you know that you were the first voice for Aunt May for a Spider-Man cartoon?
I'm not sure that I was, because there's a Spider-Man cartoon that was done in the
60s, right, with Paul Soles, I think, right?
Then I wasn't.
But I don't think Aunt May was in that. I think that you are.
I have no idea, and I think I may be the first Black Cat.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
And how did you get the role of Festina in Ben 10? Because I know that's a great story.
Oh my God! And I was doing a convention out at Pasadena. Again, it was Transformers.
Okay.
And we had a table read, and you guys have to understand, I hadn't acted because I'd been out of the game. I'd been at school, lovingly at school. I do not rue my education at all. But anyway, we're up and we're doing a table read, and I'm thrust a script, and it's fabulous because whoever wrote it, and at the time I didn't know, had taken a character called Drag Strip. And because they wanted a few more women at the table, I was doing Drag Strip, but Drag Strip was me. So anyway, so I remember I said to Pete, what do you want her to sound like? And he said, well, she's kind of cockney. She doesn't really care. And I thought, oh, great. I absolutely love this because the script was written for a guy. So I just got to read the script. I didn't have to deal with the fact that, oh, there's somebody I'm going to fall madly in love with. No. I just started doing a Brooklyn accent. Forgive me, oh, you cockney buffs. Ain't got a cockney in the wall. So anyway, there wasn't any good-looking guy I had to fall in love with. Oh, great. So I just got to do the character. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. And Chris Latta's daughter was there.
Wow.
I had not seen Chris Latta's daughter since she was 3 years old. Wow. God, she was good. Where is she? I hope she's working a lot.
I hope she's well also. I mean,
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Maybe we can have her on the show one day if she's willing to do it. We'll find her. So you were at the show in Pasadena.
I came off the stage, and this guy in a hat comes up to me and said, oh, you were great. I'd really like to work with you. Okay. I didn't know who he was. So I said, well, give me your number and I'll call you.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he gives me his number, and I find out who he is, and I call him, and he's the art director for Hold For It. Okay. Hold For It. Okay.
Quick change. Time to leave and come back. Ah, look.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh.
Wait, hold on. Other way. There we go. There
we go. There's Festina.
Yay.
He's the art director for Ben 10, for God's sakes.
That's so cool.
Isn't it amazing that a convention got you the gig? Isn't that awesome? Would have never imagined, right?
Well, except that he knew he was writing for me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Because he was a fan like you are.
So he had you in mind, is what you're saying.
I suppose.
That's terrific. I mean,
but it was a chance to meet him. And then, and then I got an agent out of that because I'd been gone for so long that the people that I knew,
We're no longer in the business.
they probably died. Anyway.
Well, I'm not going to go that far. But,
Uh-huh.
you know, it's something that Chris brings up all the time, which is basically, you know, that, you know, things can happen while we're at shows. And you were basically in his mind. When he sees you, he hears a certain character in his mind. So like say when he's writing for you, that's who he had in his mind as he was writing the character.
Well,
and that's a lot of these fans, when they're reading the comic books, they hear
oh
you
my
guys.
God, yes.
Yep.
You know, they hear you in their heads. And that's just what a power, you know.
I am the voice of their childhood.
Yeah,
It's
right.
true.
Exactly. It's true.
Yeah. That's another thing you kind of go, what?
Yeah. I'm sure it takes a few moments to sort of, you know, understand it and come to terms with that.
Yes. Yes.
When-
And then because mostly it was guys who were listening back when they first came out, I get to meet the wife and I get to meet the children. And
Right.
That's
Becomes a real family experience.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And then there's the Wyckoffs in Raleigh.
They painted you a towel, right?
Yeah, they brought you the towels, and they were all dressed.
That made it.
Yeah.
And I've taken that and I have it hang it behind me. It was in South Carolina.
That's
the
so cool.
Behind me. Yeah.
When they did that, I was blown away. I'd never seen anything like that. I thought it was so cool.
They've been doing one for each of our clients. I mean, it's phenomenal.
For Greg, they gave it to him in South Carolina. Yeah.
And the paintwork's beautiful. I mean, on that towel, it looks amazing. It's so funny because Michael Bell, he had one shipped to him, and he, you know, our PO box is the one that takes Mike's mail, and he's like, "Where's my towel, Nery? Nery, where's my towel?"
Don't wash
And
it.
it took me like 2 months to get him the towel because we just hadn't seen each other. And he's like, "Nery, my towel. What did you do with it?"
Oh, my towel. Yeah, I know.
So yeah, no, it's very funny.
And Arthur has one. Yeah, that he got.
Wow.
Keone got one too.
Oh, Keone got one in Raleigh. That's right.
Yeah, it was the three of you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because I think you got yours first, and then Keone called me over and he's like, "Hey Chris, do I get a towel?" And I started
That's
laughing.
kind of funny.
Oh, they had come up. I guess they had all. And they were a
I
bunch
love
of
Keone. Keone's the best.
because they're all from Virginia and they're all part of a incredible GI Joe group. And
Yeah.
oh my God, yeah, the Wyckoff family. I'd see them coming at Raleigh. I go, oh my God, it's the Wyckoffs. You know.
And
So what were you gonna say, Ner?
I was saying, I'm so glad she remembers people's names because it does make our fans feel really special. So I want you to know that.
That's one thing that I noticed with a lot of our clients. I mean, especially like the one person who comes to mind right away is Lauren Lester, who plays barbecue.
He's incredible at it.
He remembers people's names like literally years later. I'll be at a show with him. Somebody will walk up and he'll be like, "Hey, Tom," or whatever. And I'm like,
Right.
Remember that?
Well, I kind of I text with Gabby. I text with Tanya from Raleigh. You know, and this helps. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, well, you're really smart, so.
Yeah. And I've talked with some people recently on podcasts, and in fact, I won the prize for Jeff. Yay, Jeff! All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I cheated.
Uh-oh.
I knew it was going to be, you know, like Trivial Pursuit. And I printed out the list of all the actors and the characters they play. Well, it seemed like a plan, you know. Anyway, Jeff, I asked Jeff when
That's why you bring me. I remember all the characters and all the actors. So you bring me. Whenever that happens, you pull me.
Okay. I'll bring you. All right. See you. Okay.
You got you covered.
Anyway, I asked Jeff, you know, I said, when we meet at a show, tell me that you got the prize. So, yeah, and it was some good stuff too. It was some special. I'm going to say dolls. Oh God, special.
Yeah, don't say dolls. It's actually.
I know. Well, they were dolls when they originally came out.
We know.
Action figures. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they were specially a special grouping that was just recently made or something. Very limited Yeah, limited. Yeah.
That's really cool. So when you did the show, I know that everybody kind of gets that realization at some point, like, that it's huge. Like, is there like some moment where you remember going, wow, this is a lot bigger than
No, because I mean, I knew I did like 135 shows, but doesn't mean they were all on the air yet, because we did the script and then it was sent to Japan, South Korea, I'm not sure where, to be drawn and animated. So it wasn't a 1-2. So I'm not even sure how much was already on the air.
Right.
And it wasn't the same kind of showbiz. There was no internet. Totally different.
Right.
Well, now that there's an internet, your base has found you, so that's all that matters.
I mean, it was dial phones, for God's sakes,
Dial rotary phones.
Did you keep any of the scripts or any of the memorabilia from that show, or did that all go in the trash?
No, but Neil had a whole bunch, and we sold them at a charity
auction. I know.
But I don't know if there were any GI Joes in there or not.
I think it was all Transformers.
I think they were only Transformers.
Yeah, because you want to know why? Because Chris ended up with them, so that's how I know.
I didn't end up with all of them. I ended up
not with all of them. A couple.
Yeah,
of
but I guess Neil took them all home.
Yeah. He was smart. He was the smart one. Everybody.
Oh, come on! Who knew? If you had a tank, were you going to leave it in plastic and not play with it because in 40 years somebody might want to buy it from you? Oh my God!
Wow. That was me. That was me. I did that.
Hence the word collector, Morgan. Hence the word collector. Now
I would always buy 2 of everything, one that I could open and one that I would keep in the box, and I always did that. Always.
Well.
All right, you were a nut.
Yeah, you win. Good for you.
I was that weird little kid. People would come over to my house, and I'd be like, I don't want to lose my weapons, so you play with your figures, I'll play with mine. And I never lost my weapons, but they always lost their weapons. But I always had all my stuff, and it was all perfect. And
speaking of fanatics, any words of advice for fellow G.I. Joe fans that are out there that just admire you deeply? Any words of advice, encouragement? I mean, it's a weird time right now, so.
Oh, well, just thank you that you would care to ask me something in this craziness. I don't really know. We should all be like Cobra Commander and keep, covered up. And I understand that some of the world is opening. But we don't want to go there, do we? No. Okay.
I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna actually show some of the fan responses.
Oh my God! Oh please! Oh please!
So Chris Powell says the best GI Joe couple was Destro and Baroness.
Well, I thank you very much.
I think Bill and Mary might have a little concern.
Yeah. What about Scarlet and Duke?
And Trevor Bronson says, hello, everybody. Glad to see the voice of my first childhood crush today. I had the pleasure of meeting the 3 of you for the first time years ago at Long Beach Comic-Con, which was the first show we ever did with Morgan. Yeah. And the signed Baroness still has a great spot with the Iron Grenadiers on my shelves. Well, thanks, Trevor, for coming down, and thanks for being a longtime fan.
Nery, was that the Long Beach one was the one where we had Michael Bell and Morgan
and Zach Kaufman and yeah.
Oh God, you had
Hank Garrett.
Hank Garrett.
Yeah, Lauren was there too. Yeah, Lauren Lester.
Yes, that's right.
Richard Dory says no glazing here.
Who-y? What-y?
He said no glazing here.
When you talk, the eyes glaze.
Yeah, no glazing. Michael Rezer asked, is there any stories of Chris Latta?
Well, okay.
You can tell at least.
It's buried, or I would pull it out. There was a big Hollywood Reporter animation issue, and Greg Berger, Chris Latta, and I took a page as our characters. Well, Chris, of course, was. No, wait a minute. He wasn't Cobra Commander. He put another figure on there.
It was gung ho.
Thank you. And I was the Baroness. Thank you. I just ask you. Okay, don't. All right. And then Greg was this Indian character.
Yep.
And-
Yeah, spirits. Yeah.
Right. And we just said, thank you, Hasbro, Marvel, Sunbow, whoever. And we did this page. But we had to get somebody to draw the little characters. And I guess we got the okay from whoever had the copyright or whatever. Anyway, Chris and Greg and I went around and got this all set up and all organized and pooled our funds. And what I remember about Chris was, even though he knew the artist, he was very shy. And Greg and I kind of did more of the talking.
Wow.
Right.
I know. See, it's almost like he needed a character. And I can understand that as an actor, because you asked me before how much of me is the Baroness. The Baroness was a mask. It wasn't me.
Right.
And as an actor, it's often easier to become a character than it is to be the character. Or yeah. I just, but if you go on YouTube, you can still find, and it's probably Chris Collins.
Yeah.
Because when he did his stand-up, he was
a stand-up comedian, correct?
You're right. It's Chris Collins.
Have you gone on YouTube?
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Iconic leather jacket. Yeah.
With the shades.
And the sunglasses, yeah.
And he basically tells Bill Shatner to move it.
Yeah.
And he strolls on stage and he just decimates everybody. Because Wally and I went to see him. I mean,
Wow.
Wow.
He's a hard act. He just tears everybody apart.
Wow.
But
I mean, he's beloved by so many G.I. Joe fans out there, and it's just, it's such an it's an incredible loss of talent that young.
Oh my God.
So, I mean, a lot of these fans, are just dying would have died to meet him, literally. And,
he just, I guess, was in great pain, because he always seemed to be doing something, taking something, Yeah.
Right. And thankfully, what the fans know are how great of an actor he was, and what the great characters that he lent his voice to, and he could reach ranges that most people can't reach. Most veteran voice actors can't reach.
Like everybody tries to do Cobra Commander.
Absolutely.
Everybody tries to do Gridlock.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't talk anymore. Wait a minute. What?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Richard Dory says, "Are there any voice actors that you admire and draw inspiration from?"
Oh my stars.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
It's okay. No, it's a sound, it's a voice, and I can't mimic people. But there are people whose voices I hear, and if I'm going into an audition, I have little snippets of them, and they don't have to be voice actors. No. It's a character sound, because I don't reproduce voices. It's more from inside out now. It's a character. If you wanted me to be a very nice mom, I all of a sudden I'm dressed differently, and I'm just I can't explain it. Actors will understand what I'm talking about.
You basically pinpoint characteristics from your life, people that you know,
and in a way you then inhale
or embody that character. Yeah. I get it completely. My brother is an aspiring talent, so I many times go through my life not talking to my brother, so I know for a fact what it's like. I'll be like, can I get my brother back for like 3 minutes, please? Please, can you come back? Yeah, exactly.
You create something physical where you can't. There's something that you can't move, and it alters your behavior, which alters your voice. So yes, I have little voices on my phone that I can play just to kind of maybe come in a different direction. But that's now. I'm not sure then. And with the Baroness, I think it was the Cobra. I think
Right.
when I just stood up and screamed Cobra and just took the mic out.
Can you do that for them?
I
mean, everybody's gonna want to hear you do it.
No, I can't because the resistor will stop it. First of all.
Well, as best as you can.
As best as you can.
Cobra!
Yes.
Everybody loves that. At shows, people wait for you to do it. I mean,
but I want everybody to do it together too.
I know. Well, unfortunately, our voices are not as desired. So,
we went to. Oh God, where were we? We were like, what's it? You and I, Nery, and Will Ryan, and anyway.
Yeah, we went to what was it? Castaic? No, not Lake Castaic. It was Lake something, right? Lake Elsinore. Lake Elsinore.
Yeah, okay, we went to Lake something, and I remember trying to get everybody's attention and standing up on the little stage and going, Cobra!
Yeah, it was great. That was fun. And then we all went to have In-N-Out burgers afterwards. That's what I remember of the whole thing. I remember the drive. The drive with you and Will, that was the best.
Oh my God.
That was the highlight of my day.
And my son showed up.
And your son showed up? Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All of a sudden I look up and there's this big guy with flowers and a balloon. And
I know, and you were like, taking it back. Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool.
So Ron Rudat wants to just say, I'll meet you one day, Morgan. You played my creation. He was the one that the one that created the Baroness.
Well, thank you, Ron.
I think Steve Powell asked, at what moment did you realize the G.I. Joe cartoon was going to be a hit? I think she talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, I did. I didn't know that it was still, I didn't know it was still happening. And it obviously was when I talked to that guy in the 90s. And then Rosemary and Wally told me about the cons when we got into the new century. And I'm like, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Dave O'Hare says, really looking forward to meeting you.
Yes, Dave O'Hare. All right.
Garden State Comic Fest.
And hopefully we will all be out of quarantine by then.
Oh, please.
That's one of my favorite shows. You're going to love that one, Morgan.
I love that show.
We're going to have fun.
Trevor Bronson says, I have to say, for those who have not met Miss Lofting yet, you really should. The sweetest, kindest person you can imagine, contagious smile, and so much fun to talk with. Thank you, Nery and Chris, for assembling such a great group of beautiful people. That's very nice of you, Trevor. Thank you.
Trevor. You're awesome, man.
Chase Collins.
I think he met my alter ego. I send her in sometime.
Nice,
Chase Collinsworth.
That's a good question. Okay.
Actually, Chase Collinsworth said, what voice did you provide in Total Recall?
A bunch of them, because the scenes in Mexico when he's going through the really scuzzy neighborhood, they were all shot in Mexico, and they were shot what's called MOS, which means without sound, because Eric von Stroheim, the German, used the mit instead of wit. So they're shot without sound. And there's a gal there who looks very much like the Baroness, who's got a kid. And I did
Paul Verhoeven. Did you ever get to work with Paul Verhoeven? Because he's the one that directed Total Recall.
Of course, my God.
Did he every morning go Guten Morgen? No, I'm kidding. That was a joke.
No. He's Dutch. Anyway, we did Total Recall. We did a week on Total Recall. Wow. And then we did a week on Basic Instinct.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I have seen the European version of Basic Instinct, babies.
Understood. Got it. I got it. I got it. And as long as you weren't providing any voices for any kind of movement.
No. You know what? I have never seen Total Recall in color. We, on the sound stage, all we had was a work print. So all I've seen it in is black and white.
Wow. That movie's phenomenal. You should watch it in color, Morgan. To
Okay,
really understand the beauty of it.
I like the new one with Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, I haven't seen that, but I'm sure it's terrific. Saki the Sock
Oh.
Puppet said, favorite Baroness episode of G.I. Joe? Anyone that Morgan got paid for. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you can answer that, Morgan, but
No, the ones, of course, the ones I absolutely loved is where I got to be like the very first one when I was Major Hooper, and I got to just be a character, you know, who was a officer, and then all of a sudden, that was fun. In fact, I put that challenge out to somebody. Somebody list all the alter egos of the Baroness.
I think I think there's somebody out there that would know them all. So
Okay.
I don't think that'll be that hard.
We're gonna need to come up with that. That would be kind of fun.
And I'm
those were the fun ones. Those were absolutely the best.
And the last comment, which was that was awesome.
Ooh!
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And that was the last fan comment. You know, Chris, did you have any other questions?
No, I think all questioned out.
Morgan, you were phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming on.
I love you guys. Thank you.
We love you. Can you tell
We
us?
love
Can you tell people where to find you, things to follow? If you want to plug anything, this is where you basically hit them with it. They can find you on Facebook, right? At Morgan Lofting.
Right.
And on Instagram as Morgan Lofting, right?
Thank you, Nery. You can find
Okay. I'm glad. And she's got a Facebook page at Morgan Lofting.
Yeah.
And she will add you. Not that she will respond, but she will add you.
No,
yes.
because everybody, I don't use Messenger. Somebody called me at 2 a.m. I think not.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I have to say before I end this off,
What?
that you were the first person that I flew with. I don't know if you remember.
Oh my God!
But
Oh my God!
I have to end it on that personal story. I don't think I would have been able, and for people that don't know, I'm deathly afraid of flying.
Oh my
But
God!
I don't think I would have survived that trip without you, Morgan darling. I don't think I would have.
Oh God, yes, but I remember saying to the person in between us, no, the person in between us said to me, would you like to sit together? And you said, no, because
Don't
you're on
move.
the aisle. I don't know what you thought you were going to do on the aisle, but no, you didn't want to.
He wouldn't let me sit anywhere near
I
him.
didn't know. I was like, I was afraid that anybody would move. And then what happened was Michael Bell, who got a little bit restless on the plane, would walk to the middle of the aisle. I'm like, Mike, sit down. The plane will fall. Sit down.
God. Oh, honey.
And he's walking in the middle of the aisle, just hanging right over you. I was sweating bullets. Yeah, I know.
I don't know how many, calming drugs you had on board, but you were still.
Not enough. Clearly, not enough.
Not enough.
Not enough.
I had to carry you off if you had any more.
But you know what? I just remember that I have a photo of us just sitting, and you were holding me in the chair from the connection plane to Dallas to Knoxville. Because, yes, I have that photo. I'm never getting rid of that photo. And you know what?
I have the video of Nery when we took off for the first time because I was behind him and to his left over his shoulder. So I actually have video of him, and he actually honestly.
I handled it well.
You handled
it.
Well,
you did. You knew that you had to do it because
had to do it. Had to do it.
Needed you. Where were we going? We were not Knoxville.
Yeah, we're going to Knoxville. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I just remember the chaotic. It was like the chaotic getting 7 people on the connecting flight. Evelyn Oppenheimer, Michael Bell, Arthur Burkhart, Margaret Carey, you, and it was just that was just such the wackiest thing. I mean,
I know. And Chris finally said, "I know you'll get there. Don't worry. I know you'll get there."
Yeah, well, we weren't worried about you.
I know.
We were worried about everybody else.
I would just walk away from the pandemonium because I was like, well, not Alan. Alan's cool.
Alan's cool. He's got it down.
The one thing I remember from that trip was on our way back, we were in Charlotte and our layover. Remember, it was really, really short window.
Oh my God!
And Margaret in wheelchairs.
Yeah,
and I remember we were hoofing it and we got there just in time. I don't know how we all got on that flight, but we did. Somehow we all made
Well, I got there fine. I stopped and bought something. Then I went and bought food. And I saw you guys in line, and I waved because I knew you were probably going like, okay, you know. There was plenty of time, but that was like so terrible.
Trevor Bronson says, Nery and Beavis voice, we're all gonna die.
You know what's funny about that? Look at this.
That's every time I get on a plane.
This is literally sitting right next to me right now.
Oh my God, we're all gonna die. Okay.
Now I think that's a great way to end off the show. And Morgan, thank you so much for coming on.
Okay, all right. What?
We're approaching the end of our show, but before we take off, Chris wants to remind you of a few things.
Yes, I do. There will be a new episode. So CelebWorx Live weekly inside look into G.I. Joe. We'll be streaming live every Thursday at 5 p.m. So next Thursday we'll be back. Unless we otherwise announce it. Our next guest for next Thursday will be none other than Shipwreck himself.
Neil Ross.
An episode you don't want to miss. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Bring your parrot. Watch the show. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. We can ask him to have Polly with him.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I love it. I wonder if he'll do it.
His parrot.
He probably will.
He probably would. Probably would.
So once again, I'm Chris Arsaga, and you can follow me at The Real Arsaga. And in the words of the Baroness, all is fair in love and war.
And this has been Nery Lemus, and you can follow me at The Real Nery Lemus on Instagram, just leaving you with a quick saying that means a universal hello, goodbye, thanks for stopping, and stay safe always. Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Oh, wait, Cobra. Okay.
Cobra.
Cobra. Night, everyone. Night, everyone.